2. Mercer lets me in. Look out now. Uh-oh. He carries on in a mock astonishment and falls back limber-kneed. Today he does not say, Mr. Jack, and I know that the omission is deliberate, the consequence of a careful weighing of pros and cons. Tomorrow the scales might tip the other way. Today's omission will go into balance, and it will be Mr. Jack. For some reason, it is possible to see Mercer more clearly today than usual. Ordinarily, it is hard to see him because of the devotion. He worked for my grandfather in Feliciana Parish before Aunt Emily brought him to New Orleans. He is thought to be devoted to us and we to him, but the truth is that Mercer and I are not at all devoted to each other. My main emotion around Mercer is unease, that in threading his way between servility and presumption, his foot might slip. I wait on Mercer, not he on me. Didn't nobody tell me you was coming, cries Mercer, feeling the balance tilt against me. I was just commencing to make a fire. Mercer is a chesty sand-colored Negro with a shaved head and a dignified Adolphe Manjot mustache. Behind the mustache, his face, I notice, is not at all devoted, but is as sulky as a Pullman porter's. My aunt brought him down from Feliciana, but he has changed much since then. Not only is he a city man now, he is also Mrs. Coutret's butler, and as such presides over a shifting menage of New Orleans negresses, Jamaicans, and lately Hondurans. He is conscious of his position and affects a clipped speech, pronouncing his R's and ings in diphthonging his is Harlem style. Despite the gray day outside, the living room is bright but is not snug. The windows are open to the ceiling and the gray sky comes pouring in. Mercer puts coal on the blazing kindling. His white coat, starched stiff as armor, creaks and rustles. A welt and a tuck form at the base of his skull. He places the coals carefully, his hand passing slowly and imperviously through the flame. Head thrown back, he breathes heavily through his mouth, holding his breath as he places a coal, then expelling it in a hiss. We might be back in Feliciana. Here is the very sound of winter mornings in Feliciana 20 years ago, when cold, dark dawns were announced by the clatter of the handle on the scuttle and Mercer's strangled breathing. The room is a beautiful room, and by every right a cheerful room, with its walls of books, its Bukhara glowing like a jewel, its blackening portraits. The prisms of the chandelier wink red in the firelight. Scattered over the stained satinwood table is the usual litter of quarterlies and rough paper weeklies, and as always the great folio, the life of the Buddha. My aunt likes to say she is an Episcopalian by emotion, a Greek by nature, and a Buddhist by choice. Mercer's speaking to me. But they still hasn't the factories and the producing setup we has. So Mercer wants to talk about current events. I do so willingly, though I am certain he knows more about the subject than I do. He stands facing neither me nor the fire, but in a kind of limbo. He holds the coal scuttle and puts one foot toward the door, but neither quite stays nor leaves. Mercer has dissolved somewhat in recent years. It is not so easy to say who he is anymore. My aunt truly loves him and sees him as a faithful retainer, a living connection with a bygone age. She tells about Mercer's devotion to Dr. Wills, how he went around for days after Dr. Wills' death, his face streaming with tears. I do not doubt this, yet I know for a fact that Mercer steals regularly from her by getting kickbacks from the servants and tradespeople. But you can't call him a thief and let it go at that. Mercer has aspirations. How does he see himself? When he succeeds in seeing himself, it is as a remarkable sort of fellow, a man who keeps himself well informed in science and politics. This is why I am always uneasy when I talk to him. I hate it when his vision of himself dissolves and he sees himself as neither old retainer nor expert in current events. Then his eyes get muddy and his face runs together behind his mustache. Last Christmas I went looking for him in his rooms over the garage. He wasn't there, but on his bed lay a well-thumbed volume put out by Rosicrucians called How to Harness Your Secret Powers. The poor bastard. While Mercer speaks of current events, I edge closer to the mantelpiece. There are coutreurs in their Grand Slam year. Uncle Jules was Rex, Kate was Queen of Neptune, Aunt Emily won the Picayune Cup for her work with the home service. Everyone said that Kate was a lovely queen, but she wasn't. When Kate gets her hair waved and puts on an evening gown, she looks frumpy. The face in the picture is plain as a pudding. One picture I never tire looking at. For 10 years I have looked at it on this mantelpiece and tried to understand it. Now I take it down and hold it against the light from the darkening sky. Here are the two brothers, Dr. Wills and Judge Ains, with their arms about each other's shoulders and my father in front, the three standing on a mountain trail against a dark forest. It is the Schwarzwald. A few years after the First World War, they had gotten together for once and made the grand tour. Only Alex Bowling is missing. He is in the third frame, an astonishingly handsome young man with the Rupert Brooke Galahad sort of face you see so often in pictures of World War I soldiers. His death in the Argonne 5 years before was held to be fitting since the original Alex Bowling was killed with rubber dough. Wheat in the Hood breakthrough at Gaines Mill in 1862. My father is wearing some kind of fraternity blazer and a hard Katy straw. He looks different from the brothers. Alex, too, is much younger, yet he is still one of them, but not my father. It is hard to say why. The elder Bowlings and Alex are serene in their identities. Each one coincides with himself just as the large trees in the photograph coincide with themselves. Judge Ains, with his drooping mustache and thin cold cheeks, the hard-eyed one who is still remembered for having publicly described a Louisiana governor as a Peckerwood son of a bitch. Dr. Wills, the lion-headed one, the rumpled country genius who developed a gut anastomosis, is still in use, and Alex, serene in his dream of youth and of his hero's death to come, but my father is not one of them. His feet are planted wide apart, arms locked around an alpenstock behind him. The Katy is pushed back, releasing a forelock. His eyes are alight with an expression I can't identify. It is not far from what his elders might have called smart alecky. He is something of a dude with his round head and tricky tab collar, yet he is by every right one of them. He was commissioned in the RCAF in 1940 and got himself killed before his country entered the war. And in Crete, and in the wine dark sea, and by the same Boche, and with a copy of Shropshire Lad in his pocket. Again I search the eyes, each eye a stipple or two in a blurred oval. Beyond a doubt they are ironical. "Does you, Mr. Jack?" asks Mercer, still in limbo, one foot toward the fire, the other on its way out. "Yes, I do." Unilateral disarmament would be a disaster. "What drivel?" My aunt comes in, smiling, head to one side, hands outstretched, and I whistle with relief and feel myself smiling with pleasure as I wait one of her especial kind of attacks. Attacks which are both playful and partly true. She calls me an ingrate, a limb of Satan, the last and sorriest scion of a noble stock. What makes it funny is that this is true. In a split second I have forgotten everything, the years in Gentilly, even my search. As always, we take up again where we left off. This is where I belong, after all. My aunt has done a great deal for me. When my father was killed, my mother, who had been a trained nurse, went back to her hospital in Biloxi. My aunt offered to provide my education. As a consequence, much of the past 15 years has been spent in her house. She's really my great aunt. Yet she's younger by so many years than her brothers, and that she might easily be my father's sister, or rather the daughter of all three brothers, since it is as their favorite and fondest darling that she still appears in her own recollection. the female sport of a fierce old warrior gens, and no doubt for this reason never taken quite seriously, even in her rebellion, as when she left the South, worked in a settlement house in Chicago, and like many well-born Southern ladies embraced advanced political ideas. After years of being the sort of bird her brothers indulged her in being and even expected her to be, her career reached its climax when she served as a Red Cross volunteer in the Spanish Civil War, where I cannot picture her otherwise than as that sort of fiercely benevolent, demoniac Yankee lady most incomprehensible to Spaniards. Within the space of 6 months, she met and married Jules Couture, widower with child, settled down in the Garden District and became as handsome and formidable as her brothers. She is no longer a bird. It is as if, with her illustrious brothers dead and gone, she might now at last become what they had been and what as a woman had been denied her. Soldierly both in look and outlook, with her blue-white hair and keen, quick face and terrible gray eyes, she somehow at 65 is still the young prince. It is just as I thought. In an instant we are off and away down the hall and into her office where she summons me for her talks. This much is certain. It is news about Kate. If it were a talk about me, my aunt would not be looking at me. She would be gazing into the hive-like recesses of her old desk, finger pressed against her lip, but instead she shows me something and searches my face for what I see. With her watching me, it is difficult to see anything. There is a haze. Between us there is surely a carton of dusty bottles. Bottles? Yes, surely bottles, yet blink as I will, I can't be sure. Do you see those whiskey bottles? Yes, ma'am. And this kind? She gives me an oblong brown bottle. Yes. Do you know where they came from? No, ma'am. Mercer found them on top of an armoire. That armoire, she points mysteriously to the very ceiling above us. He was setting out rat poison. In Kate's room? Yes. What do you think? Those are not whiskey bottles. What are they? Wine? Gypsy Rose? They make wine bottles flat like that. Read that. She nods at the bottle in my hand. Sodium pentobarbital, 1 1/2 grains. This is a wholesaler's bottle. Do you know where we found that? In the box? In the incinerator, the second in a week. I am silent. Now my aunt does take her seat at the desk. I haven't told Walter or Jules because I'm not really worried. Kate is just fine. She's gonna come through with flying colors, and she and Walter are gonna be happy. But as time grows short, she is getting a little nervous. You mean you think she's afraid of another accident? She is afraid of a general catastrophe, but that is not what worries me. What worries you? I don't want her moping around the house again. She's not working downtown with you? Not for 2 weeks. Does she feel bad? Oh no, nothing like that, but she's a little scared. Is she seeing Dr. Mink? She refuses. She thinks that if she goes to see a doctor, she'll get sick. What do you want me to do? She will not go to the ball. Now that's all right, but it is very important that she not come to the point where it becomes more and more difficult to meet people. She's seen no one? No one but Walter. Now, all in the world I want you to do is take her to the Legiers and watch the parade from the front porch. It's not a party. There will be no question of making it an entrance or an exit. There is nothing to brace for. You will drop in, speak or not speak, and leave. She is that bad? She's not bad at all. I mean to take care that she won't be. What about Walter? He's crew captain. He can't possibly get away, and I'm glad he can't, to tell the truth. Do you know what I really want you to do? What? I want you to do whatever it was you did before you walked out on us, you wretch. Fight with her. Joke with her. That the child doesn't laugh. You and Kate always got along, didn't you? Sam too. You know Sam will be here Sunday to speak at the forum? Yes. I want Sam to talk to Kate. You and Sam are the only people she'd ever listen to. My aunt is generous with me. What she really means is that she is sure Sam can set things right and that she hopes I can hold the fort till Sam arrives.